Welcome back to another tech video. Luigi here, and this is a brand new Nintendo Switch OLED. Let's get right into it. This review video is going to be mostly based on the travel aspect and portability of this console, since I've been using it 99% of the time, if not more, almost 100% of the time, just on all my travels for work and for leisure. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. I didn't use it very much with a TV or with a monitor. Most of the time, like I said, 99.9% of the time, I used it just as it is with a screen and the two Joy-Cons that come with it. So keep that in mind. It's actually been a while since I've owned a true portable gaming device. My first gaming device was a Nintendo Game Boy Advance, and then after that it was a PSP, which is the original. It was one of my favorite portable consoles. But then since then, that was probably about 15 years ago since I last owned an actual portable gaming device. And then when the first Switch came out, I really wanted it, but I just couldn't afford it and never got it. I had some friends that had it, so I managed to get some play with it, but not very much. But then I decided to purchase the Nintendo Switch OLED, which is a brand new Nintendo Switch with some upgrades that we're going to be talking about in just a second. And I've got to say, at this beginning of the video, experience has been great and I will highly recommend it. But stick around just to make sure that you see what are the big upgrades and to make sure that you're still making a financial decision before you go ahead and purchase it. But as far as I can tell, it's a really good console. So let's get right into it. Start with the portability. The Nintendo Switch OLED is a very solid piece of equipment, especially for travel and just to move around with it. It weighs nothing. It weighs just 0.9 pounds. So just under a pound with the Joy-Cons included, so that screen and the Joy-Cons, and then with a case that I bought on the side, probably brings the whole thing to 1 pound. It goes into your backpack. I literally put it there and sometimes I forget about it. It does not add any extra weight to your backpack, so perfect for traveling. It has some really good battery life and a really good screen as well. Let's start with the upgrades this console has got over the first Nintendo Switch. Biggest upgrade is the screen. It has a 7-inch OLED screen with very thin bezels. It's really sharp with amazing colors and gets really bright, which makes it really easy to use in direct sunlight. The only thing is that it's a 720p screen. Probably the best 720p screen I've ever seen, but that's my only criticism with this console, is that I wished it was 1080p. The colors the OLED screen produces are insanely good. The blacks are really dark and really punchy, and the colors really pop out quite a lot. It gets really bright as well, and with the thin bezels around the sides, it makes the screen look even bigger, which is absolutely amazing, and I think it's absolutely key when you're traveling to have a really good screen. The next upgrade isn't necessarily the biggest upgrade that we were looking for, but it's definitely an upgrade that we wanted to, and we really needed it coming from the first generation Nintendo Switch. And that is the full length stand on the back of the console. Oh my god, that was so needed. Like I said, I never owned a previous Nintendo Switch, but I remember when I was playing with some friends out on a trip, putting it out, it was this little stand, almost like a little leg that stand on its own, and it kind of worked. It makes sense, but it wasn't adjustable. It was very flimsy and it didn't give you the confidence to articulate. And I don't think it articulated very much. I think it had maybe 3 heights or maybe. But now obviously you have a full size on the back of the console, full stand, fully articulated as well. Pretty much goes almost 180 degrees. You can go from fully upright to pretty much fully flat. It's not 180 degrees flat, but I'm pretty sure it's 160 degrees. So that's really clutch, because then at least now you can have the confidence that the console is going to stand straight or it's going to stand in a really solid position without the fear of someone bumping it and then kind of like the Nintendo Switch falling onto either the screen or the back and then having to potentially have a cracked screen or a few extra scratches. So the full size stand on the back of the console is one of those upgrades that it wasn't expected, but it was definitely needed, especially after just the little flimsy stand that we had on the first generation Nintendo Switch. So that's really good. The overall experience that I've had with this console, probably for the last 2-3 months now that I've owned it, is that it's very comfortable to play for very long periods of time. Like I previously mentioned, The screen with the two Joy-Cons on either side weigh just under a pound. It's really easy to play for very long periods of times. The way that I play probably about an hour to 2 hours at a time, put it down, and it never gets uncomfortable. Sometime when I'm on my desk, I put it down on the table and then get the two Joy-Cons out and then add it to the controller that it comes with in the box, and then play like that sometimes. But most of the times I'm playing with the Joy-Cons on the side with the screen in the middle, and like I said, it's very light, just under a pound, and it's very easy just to play for a couple hours at a time, and then your hands don't get really tired. The Joy-Cons are just pretty much the same as previous generations, so that means that you can use the Joy-Cons of your new Nintendo Switch with your old Nintendo Switch, and then same way around with your old Joy-Cons, you can use them with your new Nintendo Switch. And then obviously they're still just as good, so same good travel, same build quality, and just overall good experience with the Joy-Cons. It has a 3.5mm headphone jack, a 4300 mAh battery, and 64 gigs of internal storage, with the ability to increase that with some external storage. It charges by USB-C, which is a win. It's advertised to last about 4.5 to 9 hours. Nintendo Switch OLED, it retails for $349 or £289. But by the time you see this video, you can probably find a Nintendo Switch OLED for a much cheaper, especially after the Black Friday discounts or the Cyber Monday discounts. And obviously with Christmas approaching, you will probably find some better discounts. You can probably pay that price with a game included. When I first bought this console, I bought it with the Zelda Breath of the Wild game, and that cost me just £300, which would probably be about $360. But my overall gaming experience with this console has been nothing but amazing. I've actually enjoyed it a lot. Like I previously mentioned, it's been a while since I've owned an actual portable gaming console, so owning a Nintendo Switch OLED that I can travel with everywhere, especially with my job that requires me to travel a lot, it really helps me just get through those kind of like not lonely times, but when I'm on my own, just to play and makes the time go really fast. Or when I'm at home, it's really good to bring those memories back, especially coming from my very first console, let's call it that, my Game Boy Advance, playing all the Pokemons and the Legends of Zelda games that I've had. It really brings some of those fond memories back. And then the high quality screen and the battery life has just been nothing but great to me. The battery life, like I said, it probably advertised to be between 4.5 to 9 hours of playtime. For me, it's mostly between 3 to 5, maybe 6 hours of playtime. But the way that I play, I usually play full brightness during the day, maybe half brightness at night, and then I play for about an hour at a time, an hour to 2 hours at a time. So I usually play for an hour, put it down, and then come back to it in a couple hours, play for an hour or two. So that's kind of how I play. So I will say between 3 to 6 hours, probably 3 hours if it's full brightness, 5 to 6 hours if you're playing kind of like full brightness and then adjusting it here and there every now and then. So, but yeah, I would say between 3 to 5 hours of good battery life, which is amazing actually, because I don't need it for more than that. Obviously it'd be great. Obviously you can play with it while you're charging it, but I don't like that. I don't like having that cable in the middle. So that's just a preference for me, to be fair. So, but you can do it, so which is good. But with that being said, I've been playing a lot of the Pokemon Legend of Arceus and the Legend and the Zelda Breath of the Wild game. Those two games are just absolutely insane. Those are very two childhood games that I've previously loved, and everything. Obviously, Pokemon. I used to play a lot of Pokemon Yellow, Red, Blue, and Sapphire and Emerald. And with Zelda, I've obviously had all the Zelda games from Ocarina of Time to all the previous ones. So these two games really added to really kind of like the way Nintendo created these games. I'm really happy how they are. The Pokemon games is definitely something that I've always dreamed of, how the new Pokemons will be like, and how the new game is like, a bit more immersive and a bit more interactive with a Pokemon world, which I absolutely love. So I completely recommend those two games, Pokemon Legend Arceus. Obviously there's some new Pokemon games that just came out a week ago, and then the Zelda Breath of the Wild is absolutely amazing as well. But again, some of the new Zelda games I believe are coming out soon, so probably hold your thoughts to that. But one game I haven't bought yet, and I will, is Luigi's Mansion 2. I owned Luigi's Mansion 1 or Luigi's Mansion in the GameCube. Such an amazing game, especially with my name being Luigi. That's what you see, it's two little guys back here. So I need to buy Luigi's Mansion 2 to see if it still holds up to what I still remember from the first Luigi's Mansion. But yeah, going after the games run super smoothly. They take no time to update or upgrade, which is great because sometimes I don't have the time to wait for that. They never lag, they never jump around or anything. The screen really provides that really nice just experience with it. Like I said, obviously I would have loved for the screen to be 1080p and not 720p, but again, it's a really good 720p with really good colors. This console is really easy to use, to set up, and the whole thing is very intuitive. The interface is really easy to maneuver around, and it's just very simple and very minimal design. So I would highly recommend this console to anybody looking for a portable console, looking to use it for travel or to commute, or maybe they just don't have the space for a big console, that you just want something on your desk or on your kind of like your night table that you can have on the side. You can play while in bed, maybe an hour before you go to bed, or you'll be using it while traveling 12 hours a day, or if you're traveling to or if your job requires you to stay at different hotels for days on end, just like my job, then this is a great console. Doesn't weigh anything, it's really portable, it fits into any bag, and it won't take any space, and it has a really good battery life with a really good screen. Definitely a great present for anyone that is into gaming and into portable consoles, especially with the holidays approaching. So this will make for a really good Christmas present. Like I said, it retails for £289 or $349, but this console has been out for over a year now, I believe, so you can definitely find it a lot cheaper than that. Or you can find some secondhand Nintendo Switch OLEDs in really good conditions for even cheaper than what you find it for brand new. That is all from me today, guys. Thank you for watching another video. I'll see you guys on the very next video. See ya. Bye.